My name is Józef Wancer. I'm 80 years old and I live in Poland. My parents, at the start of the World War II, fled from the Nazis to the Soviet Union. My mother hardly escaped from being raped and my father from being executed by an assessment. In 1940, my parents, with my 3-year-old sister, were deported to the Gulag camp in Kom. In May 1942, I was born. We survived the Gulag for 5 years, but over 25% of prisoners died from hard work, starvation, illness, and severe climate. Huge white rats and intrusive mosquitoes infecting malaria were our nightmares. The most important factor that enabled us to survive was the family emotional solidarity and the will to live. My mother traveled in snow 20 kilometers to a local village to obtain some sugar to save her father from death. We returned to Poland in 1946. Over 80% of our families who had not left Poland during the war were killed in the ghettos, Auschwitz, and other German concentration camps. As a boy, I sadly learned about the tragic war history of Jews. In 1961, I immigrated to the States by myself, and I was 19 years old. Became eventually an international banker, worked and lived on 3 continents, and learned fascinating things about different local cultures. After 30 years, in 1991, upon the incredible changes of political system in Poland 2 years earlier, I had decided to come back to Poland to take part in the transformation of the banking system. I also deeply dived in the Holocaust memory. I have visited Auschwitz more than 40 times. I often cried there, not only because of the horrible memories of this place, but mainly because I realized how vulnerable we as the people are, how close we stand in front of the deep abyss of humanity. The words of Primo Levi or Marian Turski, that Auschwitz did not come out of nowhere and that it can happen again and anywhere, should ring the bell all over the globe. I decided to act in memory of my family killed, but also, and primarily, to warn the living and future generations that indifference to racism, intolerance on account of religion, nationality, gender, or color of skin breed only terror, tragedy, death, and unhappiness. In 2010, Professor Władysław Bartoszewski, prisoner of Auschwitz, ex-Minister of Foreign Affairs in Poland, invited me to join the supervisory board of the Auschwitz-Birkenau Foundation and become chairman of its finance committee. The purpose of the ABF was to create an endowment fund to finance the conservation work, the buildings, the artifacts at the State Museum. We have raised 180 million euro. Authenticity and remembrance are the key components of the foundation mission. The goal is to ignite a moral anxiety within each human being, because remembrance and education go in pairs. In time, we decided to focus on education. In 2020, started the Auschwitz Pledge Foundation, in which I am the supervisory board chairman. The key message we bring is that indifference must be challenged and must be eliminated. We create international projects to introduce the means and ways in a number of countries and how to cope with and how to reduce the causes for indifference. Acts of genocide, killings take place practically everywhere. The righteous, therefore, need to be recognized globally to retain remembrance of those who dare to save lives of others on any continent. They, in fact, are saviors of human dignity. We follow the endeavors of Gariwo and the European Parliament to establish a European Day for the Righteous to be commemorated early on 6 March. In 2014, the Warsaw Garden of Righteous was established as a social movement by former Prime Minister Tadeusz Mazowiecki. I was also a member of the organizing group. Last month, on the 23rd of January, we legally registered this organization as a guardian of the Reich's foundation. I am proud to be the initiator and one of the 3 founders. The other 2 are the Gariwo and the Auschwitz-Birkenau Foundation. This way, formally and morally, we in effect combine major 3 endeavors: the genuine preservation of the Auschwitz Memorial Site, the education focusing on rejecting the global indifference to injustice and racism, and commemoration of those in the world who fought or gave own lives to save lives of others. The current war in Ukraine proves that we shall never take it for granted that Europe is safe from totalitarianism and that humanity has priority over political ideologies. Human lives are most precious, and we persistently need to defend our mankind. Nothing can replace the fundamental values we should live by. Listening to the refugees, their painful survival stories, I had shivers that everything my family witnessed in the war has now reappeared in Ukraine. This means that we must intensify our fight for freedom and democracy.